Hello, beautiful souls. It is wonderful to be here with you again. Today, I want us to really sit with some of the things that have been unfolding around us. Things that fill the headlines and can sometimes feel like they're shaking the very ground beneath our feet. It is a lot to take in, isn't it? All these stories, these events, and how they subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, weave into the fabric of our daily lives, especially when it comes to our finances and that quiet sense of security we all crave. You see, it's so easy to get swept up in the currents of constant information, to feel that little flutter of anxiety in our chests as we scroll through the news. But my dear friends, that's precisely why we're here, to learn how to navigate these waters with grace, with calm, and with a gentle but firm grip on our own financial compass. Because even when the world feels loud, our inner financial wisdom can be our quiet anchor. Let's talk about this particular situation that has been in the spotlight. This incident near the White House, and how it has become intertwined with discussions about something called the Golden Ballroom. It's a complex tapestry, full of threads that lead in many directions, from security concerns to political maneuvering, and then, the very human stories at its core. It's a lot to unpick, and it's perfectly normal to feel a sense of bewilderment, or even a deep frustration when you see how events unfold. And honestly, sometimes it feels like these big, dramatic headlines, these moments of perceived crisis, are used as an opportunity, a way to push certain agendas, to make us believe that drastic measures are necessary, that there's an urgent need for this, or that. But that's where our gentle discernment comes into play. That's where we pause, we breathe, and we ask, is this truly about collective safety, or is there another narrative being woven here? One that might not fully align with our best interests, or with the truth. Let's dive into the details, because here, we always ground ourselves in the facts. They're like the sturdy roots of a tree, keeping us stable even when the branches sway. We've heard about Nasir Best, a young man just 21 years old, a former Amazon worker described as suffering from schizophrenia, believing he was Jesus Christ, and his repeated, escalating encounters near the White House, making threats. It's a truly tragic story, a poignant reminder of the vulnerability of individuals struggling with mental health and the systemic gaps that can leave them adrift. And what truly stands out as we look at the court records is this long, disturbing pattern of non-compliance, of failing to appear in court, stretching back to July 2020. He was known, he was on the radar of so many, from the Secret Service agents directly involved to higher-level officials in the judicial system. And yet, despite these repeated warnings, despite the clear and present danger he posed to himself and potentially others, nothing truly preventative, nothing truly effective, was done. It makes you question, doesn't it? The efficacy of our systems, and where our priorities truly lie. It feels like a significant, almost glaring security breakdown, a failure at multiple levels. And then, almost immediately, the conversation shifts, doesn't it, from the details of this deeply troubled individual to the urgent plea for this golden ballroom. It's as if the tragic event is being retrofitted into a pre-existing argument, a convenient hook upon which to hang a long-desired project. It's a powerful rhetorical move, designed to bypass rational debate and appeal directly to our fears, to our desire for safety. We've seen the court filings from Donald Trump's Department of Justice, framing this incident as an assassination attempt, citing news reports, but noticeably lacking in concrete legal evidence. It's all about creating a sense of dire urgency, a compelling case for this ballroom as an indispensable security measure. It is a very direct, very emotional appeal, designed to leave little room for questioning. They wrote about a shooter attempting to harm the president, his family, and staff, emphasizing this as a second such attempt in a short period. And then, they connect it, quite directly, to the critical need for top-tier security, including this ballroom, which they describe as vital for national security. It's a narrative crafted to be undeniably persuasive, to make us feel that this project is not just important, but absolutely crucial for the safety of the nation. But then, we bring it back to the reality of the individual. Nasir Best, his online presence, his deeply held delusions of being Jesus Christ, his repeated arrest near the White House, his consistent failure to appear in court. It paints a very different picture than that of a professional, calculated assassin. It's the picture of a young man desperately in need of help, someone who, through a series of systemic failures, became tragically entangled in a much larger political drama. And this, my friends, makes us think about priorities, doesn't it? How so much energy and resource is directed towards certain narratives. Certain perceived threats, while very real, very human vulnerabilities are allowed to fester. Someone making direct threats against the White House with a clear history of mental health struggles is allowed to remain at large. Warrants for his arrest go unserved. It feels like a glaring omission, a profound red flag that was, for whatever reason, overlooked or minimized. We know that Jeanine Pirro, the United States Attorney for Washington, D.C., ultimately oversees the lawyers responsible for these cases, and yet this individual who posed a known risk remained free. It's a complex web of interconnected systems, and it highlights how a single point of failure or a series of small ones can have such devastating consequences for the individual and for the broader community. And then, the social media post from Donald Trump immediately following the incident thanking law enforcement, but almost instantly pivoting to advocate for the ballroom, connecting the shooting directly to the necessity of this secure space. It's a very transparent strategic move designed to leverage a moment of crisis for a specific political and financial outcome. And we've seen how the media has covered this, with some outlets highlighting the political motivations behind the push for the ballroom, even in the face of significant backlash from within Trump's own party, questioning the cost and the use of taxpayer money. It's a large, multifaceted debate about where our collective resources should truly be allocated and what genuinely constitutes national security. We heard from figures like Kevin Hassett, staunchly advocating for the ballroom, stating its urgent necessity, and then, in contrast, the Wall Street Journal editorial board expressing serious concerns about Trump's personal political obsessions and their potential negative impact on his presidency and broader political goals. It's a constant battle of narratives, a struggle for the hearts and minds of the public, each side trying to define the truth and guide public opinion. And then, there's the whole discussion about the funding, with some arguing it's for a broader White House security upgrade, while others, like Thomas Massie, have vocally condemned the Golden Ballroom as an egregious waste of money, pointedly reminding everyone that it was initially promised to be privately funded, and now mysteriously, taxpayer money is being sought. It really underscores the often vast disparity between the perceived needs of those in power and the very real, very pressing economic struggles of everyday Americans. This, my friends, brings us back to our own financial journeys, doesn't it? It's a powerful lesson in distinguishing between genuine necessity and cleverly packaged desires, especially when the world is in turmoil, when there's so much noise and pressure to conform. Our focus should always be on cultivating a robust, adaptable financial foundation, something that provides authentic peace of mind. And sometimes, that means gently but firmly questioning the things that are presented as absolutely unequivocally essential, even if they're plastered across every headline. Even if everyone else seems convinced, we pause, we consider, we ask ourselves, does this truly align with my long-term financial health, with my values, or is it another distraction, another shiny object designed to pull me off course, or to amplify my anxieties? Because ultimately, true financial peace isn't about endlessly accumulating, it's about a deep-seated sense of security, a feeling of mastery over your own financial destiny. Even when the external world feels chaotic and unpredictable, it's about making deliberate, conscious choices and building a life that feels genuinely abundant in the things that truly matter. And then, there was that peculiar video clip of the NBC correspondent Julie Serskin, her reaction to the shooting and how it quickly became a meme. And while it might seem like a fleeting, almost humorous moment, it's also part of this broader pattern, this tendency to trivialize serious events, to turn them into entertainment, or to normalize unusual or even concerning behaviors. It's a subtle way of diverting our attention, of preventing us from engaging with the deeper, more complex realities. It's a profound reminder that we must remain critically engaged, we must stay thoughtful, and we must never forget that our financial well-being, our inner peace, our sense of profound security, emanates from within, from our capacity to make informed, intentional decisions, rather than passively accepting the narratives of the loudest voices, or being swept away by the most sensational headlines. So, let us continue, steadfastly, to nurture our inner financial calm. Let us intently focus on the aspects we genuinely control, our savings, our investments, our spending habits, our unwavering commitment to living a life of intention and purpose. Let's consciously construct a financial existence that authentically mirrors our deepest values. A life characterized by resilience, graceful adaptability, and an abundance of genuine tranquility. Because that, my cherished friends, is the quintessential wealth. Is it not? A serene heart, an unclouded mind, and a steady hand expertly guiding our journey. Thank you, from the deepest part of my heart, for being present, for sharing this profound space with me, and for resolutely choosing calm. Even when the world relentlessly strives to conjure a tempest, I will be reaching out to you again very soon. Please, take exquisite care of yourselves